everything you wanted to know about Empath Cadres. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. For the purposes of explaining narcissism, I divide people up into 4 groups. My group, the narcissists, narcissistic people, normal people, and empaths. The largest grouping is that of the normals. They make up the majority of people that exist on this planet. There are more empaths than there are narcissists, hence why we are able to feed so regularly and so often. Within those classifications, there are similarities and also differences, and through my work, I explain all of those to you to help your understanding of the people that are around you. With regard to empaths, I categorize them with regard to certain schools. The most wide-ranging, that is the standard empath, and standard behavior is found in all empathic individuals. Some have additional aspects, such as codependency, being a super empath, or a contagion. The most common type of empath is standard, followed by codependent, followed by super, and the rarest is contagion in terms of majority. Many people, of course, might have a sliver of contagion, a minority aspect, but in terms of the majority aspect, the most common is standard, followed by codependent, then super, and then contagion. Most empathic individuals are made up of 2 schools, usually closer to 3 or 4, but sometimes even all 5. Alongside these schools sits the Cadras. The Cadras are saviour, geezer, magnet, martyr, and carrier. The Cadras, again, can be a majority, but more usually there is a hybrid, with an empathic individual belonging to at least 3, sometimes 4, and occasionally all 5 of the Cadras, showing various aspects of that. Understanding what your school and cadre are, where you've been determined to be an empath, is hugely important, as it helps you understand more about your behaviours, the fact that you have an addiction to the narcissist. It helps you understand how you deal with that addiction. It also explains more about how you deal with people generally, why they behave in the way that they do, and, most importantly, why you behave in the fashion that you do. Understanding more about your school and cadre is fundamental, and you can ascertain whether you are an empath by undertaking the empath detector. Details can be found in the video's description. You can join thousands of people who have undertaken this to find out whether you are actually a narcissist but you didn't realize, whether you're narcissistic, normal, or indeed an empath. And if you are an empath, it will tell you what school and cadre you belong to, along with more information about these schools and cadres, and also which type of narcissist is most attracted to you. People find it hugely insightful and illuminating. In order to assist you in that better understanding, I'm going to be providing you with information about the cadres, providing you with more detail about what those cadres actually mean, how they impact upon your behaviour, what it means vis-a-vis your relationship with the narcissist. And yesterday I provided a video that told you more about the saviour cadre. If you haven't watched that, I'd encourage you to do so, particularly if you've undertaken the empath detector and you have some saviour in your cadre outcome. But I'm also going to provide you with more detail about the other cadres. I'm going to explain to you what it means to be a carrier, which is quite a common outcome. I'm also going to explain to you what it means to be a magnet, one of the rarer outcomes that occurs. The geezer, the emotional aspect, if you will, of the empath, and that of martyr. They're going to be 4 videos that address these separate aspects of the Cadras to complement the one that exists about the Saviour. It'll furnish you with information, and therefore if you're just interested in the concept of an empath as a whole, you'll be able to learn more about these appropriate Cadras. If you've undertaken the empath detector, it will increase your knowledge about yourself by enabling you to understand more about the particular Cadras that are applicable to you. By understanding more about the Cadra, it will help you unlock more about the nature of your relationship with the narcissist. Certain narcissists prefer particular Cadras. So, by way of example, those that are of the carrier tend to be focused on more by lesser and mid-range narcissists. The magnet is often found wanted by mid-range, but especially the greater. And if someone doesn't have the magnet capability, or it's very low, a greater is unlikely to be as interested. With the martyr, this can be seen amongst lower greater, upper lesser B, and sometimes upper mid-range narcissists. With the geezer, this is generally sought after by lesser narcissists. And with regard to the saviour, this can be seen sometimes amongst upper lesser A, middle greater, but most often amongst the amongst the mid-range narcissists. They, of course, invariably, particularly lower mid-range and middle range A and middle range B, believe themselves to be good people that are helping people. But of course, they're only doing it for their own purposes. They're only doing it to enable them to use that concept of saving and assisting and demonstrating false compassion for the purposes of asserting control and drawing fuel, managing that facade, which is a residual benefit, and often accessing awards, for instance, and money as a consequence of this caring facade that is put forward, apparently rushing in where angels fear to tread, when in actual fact it's all based upon self-centered, self-absorbed purpose that benefits the narcissist. Accordingly, there will be tomorrow a series about the Empath Cadres to build on what has been released in relation to the Saviour Cadra. The purpose of this video was to expand on what it's about, but to alert you to its presence so that you can ensure that you make yourself available to watch the relevant videos and that you can indulge in increasing your understanding. I have so many videos, it's often the case that people forget to search amongst them to find the topics that they're looking for, and therefore to assist you I'm foreshadowing the appearance of this series. I look forward to expanding on this for you and for you to learn more about your Empath Cadres. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.